Mic check 1 2. I normally don't put out videos back to back, but I'm pretty stoked with some of the additional buy two get one pickups that are in right now. So I figured I'd share them with you because I'm expecting another package to come in. So I'll run through some of these with you now. But they did have this copy of Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. Metroid Fusion is a pretty dope game. I think I already have a copy of this in my collection. But it's really rare that you find these. And I figured, you know what, worst case scenario, I could just sell this copy to help pay for some of the other pickups that I made during this buy two get one promo. So really cool find, picking up a copy of Metroid Fusion. Again, I don't typically do the loose discs, but they did have a copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee. The disc actually looks pretty good. Right now, I am 3 for 4 when it comes to GameStop GameCube discs. I bought Sonic 2 Battle Adventure. I also have Shadow the Hedgehog, and then I got Mario Party 6. Mario Party 6 was complete in box. That did work. Both Sonic games were loose discs, and those worked. Hopefully this Super Smash Bros. Melee also works. This too is also a duplicate copy. I already do have a copy of Super Smash Bros. On the GameCube. But just like the two Sonic loose disc games, I'll see if I can find maybe a case and manual. If I can find a case and manual, then that would be great. I can complete this. Super Smash Bros. Melee right now, I feel like it's been moving up. I want to say maybe a year or two ago, that game was like under 50. Now it's averaging around 70. Don't know why, to be honest with you. But still a great find for GameStop. And then retro, we're going back to retro. Got this cool copy of Boogerman on the Sega Genesis. This is a very interesting action platforming game, a pretty cool one. I'm surprised that they didn't do more with this franchise, that there wasn't a Boogerman 2. This is like one of those borderline good games. I think great character, great concept. Gameplay is solid. Could have been better, not top tier, but this is still a pretty solid game here on the Sega Genesis. So, I mean, GameStop does have some pretty good retro games on their website. They did come through for me. I was a little bummed this morning that I had to cancel my order for Shadow of the Ninja and Silver Surfer on the NES. Those are two games that I was really looking forward to adding to my collection. I've been hunting for a copy of Shadow of the Ninja for a few weeks now. Same thing with Silver Surfer. Both really good games for being on the NES. Silver Surfer actually has surprisingly good graphics. It's pretty much a shoot 'em up game that you can play. It plays in two formats. Some of the levels are kind of like that top-down view where it's like a shoot 'em up, and then some of the levels are side-scrolling where he's kind of flying through space, flying through these different levels on these different planets, kind of just blasting his way through. So definitely good stuff here. Little bummed about what I couldn't pick up. Today I've been able to kind of run out. I don't know how many yard sales are actually going to be happening this morning. It is kind of cold. I mean, when you look outside, it does look nice. It looks like it's going to be a nice day. And I'm sure like once the afternoon comes around, it'll probably warm up and get a little bit nicer. But as far as right now, I don't know if anyone's doing too much with the yard sales. We're supposed to get some really good weather on the East Coast on Monday. I think Monday hopefully is the beginning of spring, but normally on the East Coast when the weather's like this, there's really no in-betweeny. It usually goes straight from spring to summer. There's no gradual progression. It goes straight from spring, straight from winter straight into summer, which I'm really not a fan of, because whenever the weather does that, that means it's going to be a really hot and obnoxious summer, and I'm really not looking forward to that. Yeah, I may have to relocate somewhere in the country and get back to some warmer weather. In other news, they did release a much anticipated game on the PlayStation 5. So Stellar Blade, I'm not going to lie, Stellar Blade looks like a really cool hack and slash game. That game alone makes me want to get a PlayStation 5 just so that I can play it. I don't have a PlayStation 5. I told myself I was not getting a PlayStation 5. I don't know. If Sony starts to release really good games on the PlayStation 5, that will become a more compelling reason for me to get the system. I get consoles because of the games. I don't get consoles because they're new. There has to be like a good amount of really good games for me to warrant getting the console. So Stellar Blade looks cool. I'm gonna try to see if I can watch some more gameplay footage at some point today, just to see if I can kind of get a better idea of what it's about. I know there's a lot of controversy right now when it comes to some of these games that have these female characters. I think a lot of people are kind of looking at it like some of these female characters are a little bit too provocative. They might be a little bit too voluptuous. I know that was a big concern when it came to Bayonetta 3 when that came out. Maybe it's been a concern with the whole Bayonetta series, which is funny because, we grew up with Samus. And I remember the first time I saw Zero Suit Samus, I was like, wow, that's what's hiding underneath all that armor? Samus is beautiful. But but in all seriousness, these games here, they are starting to get more lifelike, right? With the graphics improving, the main characters in these games are starting to look more realistic. They are starting to look just realistic, right? And I guess it doesn't really matter when the main character is like a buff dude in ripped jeans and boots with a heavy machine gun running through the jungle. But that kind of all changes when it becomes a scantily clad, like I said, curvaceous, vixen with a blade or with a sword flying through, hacking and slashing, doing cartwheels all over the place. And you've kind of got this camera view where you're just following her around through all these different levels. I think it's something that's creating a lot of concern, probably amongst parents, and probably some girlfriends and wives as well. So, but all that being said, Stellar Blade from a gameplay perspective definitely looks like something I'm totally about. It looks like it's a really amazing adventure, lots of hacking and slashing, special moves, unlockables, different levels. And then it just gives you that wide open world feel that I really enjoy. And on a console like the PlayStation 5, I'm sure there's a lot. That's where like systems like the PlayStation 5 soar with games like that, where they can take full advantage of the hardware, the technology, the frame rate, and everything like that to kind of give you that really, really modern gameplay experience, something that is a true differentiation from something that we would have seen on perhaps the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 4. So looking forward to see more about that game and possibly watch some reviews on it. I think it just released today. Stellar Blade just came out. So now if you do have a PS5, now would be the time to go and grab it. I don't think it's going to get sold out at all. But it's still a great game. But that's what I found so far, and those are the GameStop news for me so far today. I'll be back with a video this afternoon. It's the Y2K Collector. Hope you find something good. Take it easy.